Alright, 62704 Certification and Resource Recovery Equipment. 400 Procedure for the preliminary examination of the resource recovery equipment. Um, when tax has become due pursuant to Chapter 212 of the Florida State Law, an equipment that may be resource recovery equipment and such equipment is not available to the inspection department of the prospective purchaser or purchaser of such equipment must apply with the Department of Preliminary Examination reported on the review plans for the specification equipment list and other descriptions in the application preliminary examination report of the proposed resource recovery equipment. It may be considered the Department of Revenue prerequisite for the delay of the tax due, and such equipment is indicated with the rules of promulgated by the Department of Revenue. The Department shall use the following procedure for the preliminary examination resource recovery equipment. When the application of the primary examination resource recovery equipment shall be submitted with the Department of Form 62701909 application for preliminary examination, final examination, certification, or resource recovery equipment, effective date November 15, 2009, hereby adopted and incorporated with reference copies of this form are available from the local district office or writing the Department of Environmental Protection, Solid Waste Section, MS 4565 2600 Blair Road, Stone Road, Tallahassee, Florida 32399 2400. All supporting documentation shall be submitted in the application, and the application should include the following information: identifying the application for facility, identifying the quantity of the municipality that eventually own or exclusively benefit from the resource recovery equipment. See a list of brief description of resource recovery equipment, the estimated cost that our applicant declares the subject examination. Plans or other description of resource recovery facilities on the project where the resource recovery equipment is to be used, and the application will not be complete until these plans and descriptions are sufficient detail to indicate how the proposed resource recovery equipment is to be integrated with this facility or project. 2, a description of the recovery process and how the resource recovery equipment is integrated within the process. The application for preliminary examination for resource recovery equipment that includes the one recycling equipment may be included in equipment appearing on the list of our Rule 62704600. For appearing list with the Rule 62704600 with the Florida Administration Code, certification for the purchaser equipment meets the criteria for the 62704 Florida 20. Florida Administration Code should include the application for the equipment not appearing on the list for Rule 62704600 Florida Administration Codes or the listed equipment with the auxiliary equipment as though being certified with recycling equipment certification of professional engineer. The equipment meets the requirements of 62704-420 for the Florida Administration Code shall include the application to provide the certification is required with the section preliminary examination for the resource recovery equipment. This recycling equipment professional engineer shall examine the plans, drawings, and descriptions of the facility process and the attached equipment. The professional engineering shall certify with the equipment integral recycling process owned, operating exclusively on the behalf of the unit local government. The department shall issue the written report specifying the equipment of the application may resource recover. The equipment of the report shall issued within 30 days of the request for the properly completed. With the application complies with the preliminary examination report shall be sent with the application to the Department of the Revenue. The result of the preliminary examination should not exclude granting, denying certification following the final examination of same equipment pursuant to Rule 62704410 Florida Administration Code. Primarily, examination is not required to obtain certification. Rules making authority 403704 Florida Law implemented 212-087Q 403715 Florida State History News. May 24th, 1979, formerly 17.7.42, 17.7.420, amended August 14th, 1990, formerly 17.704.400, amended December 17th, 1996, and November 15th, 2009. Alright, continuing. 62704, which is certification of resource recovery equipment. 62704-410, procedure for the final examination certification of resource recovery equipment. The final examination certification of recovery equipment shall be equipment for the sales of tax exemption indicated with Section 212-087Q Florida State Law. The department shall follow the procedure for the granting, denying certification of the resource recovery. After the equipment is installed, the application for the final examination certification resource recovery equipment shall be submitted to the department on the form 62701-909. The application shall include the information required for the preliminary examination 62704401, and the department shall request additional information required for the proper completion of the application. In the application previously submitted the required information on the preliminary examination application form, and updated the copy of the preliminary examination application that shall satisfy the equipment and application final examination certification of the resource recovery equipment that includes the recycling equipment may or may not include equipment appearing in the Rule 62704600 Florida Administration Codes. For equipment appearing on the list of the Rule 62704600 Florida Administration Code, its purchaser shall include the application of the certification of the equipment that meets with the criteria of Rule 62704420 Florida Administration Codes. The list of equipment installed operational for the equipment not appearing on the list of the Rule 62704600 but the Florida Administration Code. The list of equipment with the auxiliary equipment has also been certified with the recycling equipment, and the application shall include the certification professional engineering that one equipment meets with the criteria of Rule 62704420 and Florida Administrative Codes. The equipment installed with the operational F application previously submitted with required information preliminary examination application from then and updated with a copy of the preliminary examination application for satisfying the requirement to provide certification required with the subsection from the final examination certification resource recovery. The equipment with the recycling equipment professional engineer shall examine the plan drawings and description of the facility plan certify the equipment is integral recycling process owned or operated by on the behalf of the unit of the local government installed or operational. For when proposed resource recovery equipment is installed with the representative of the department, it shall inspect the equipment within 30 days of the receipt properly completed with the application. However, the department shall certification of the equipment installed with in the specified subsection section 2 section of the second subsection 2 of this lieu of the inspection of such requirement recycling equipment when the department finds the certification sufficient to determine if the recycling equipment meets the criteria for the rule written 30 days of such an inspection of the completion of sufficient certification equipment and installation specified subsection 2 of the of this section, the department shall issue the written decision granting design certification. A copy of the certification shall be sent to the Department of the Revenue and the application. Ruling authority 403704 Florida State Law 21208 7Q 403 715 Florida State History News May 24th, 1979, formerly 17/7.43 and 17/7.430, amended August 14th, 1990, formerly 17/704, 410, amended December 17th, 1996, and November 15th, 2009. All right, 420. Still on 62704 certification resource recovery equipment. 62704 420 criteria preliminary examination certification resource recovery equipment. The department shall use the following criteria to determine whether the equipment shall be certified. The resource recovery equipment. The resource recovery equipment includes the equipment with machinery exclusively integrally used for the actual process of recovering material energy resources from solid waste. Resource recovery equipment does not include the article of equipment being used for the purpose other than resource recovery, even though the equipment is used in a resource recovery process. Land or buildings including walls, roof, ceiling, floors, and other necessary support structures to ensure the area. However, the extraordinary foundation structural member that usually exceptionally for support of resource recovery equipment that shall be considered resource recovery equipment. Buildings and structured integral process shall be considered resource recovery equipment if they function pollution control equipment required with the federal and state regulation. 2, if they are used in storage waste and processed material in lieu of the use of the storage equipment such as tanks, silos, or bins. C, the equipment of the transportation material engineering resource recovery for the solid waste for the site where the recovery of the private engineer takes place. Engineering resource recovery for the solid waste may include the refuse of the derived fuel, gas, liquid fuel derived from the solid waste, heat of the steam derived from the solid waste, electricity derived from the solid waste resource. The recovery equipment shall unit by itself by a significant function of the resource recovery process. Examples of such equipment include the conveyors, pump vans. The department shall not certify the spare parts of the maintenance into items of the resource recovery recycling equipment, such as nuts and bolts and drive belts. Resource recovery equipment may include the fixed price pieces of the equipment accessibly and integrally used for the actual process of recovering material, energy, resources from solid waste. Examples of such equipment include the bridge cranes, fixed storage bins. Resource recovery equipment may need to be specifically designed for the resource recovery recycling process. Rulemaking Authority 403704, Florida State Law implemented 212-087Q, 403-715, Florida State History News, May 24th, 1979, formerly 17-744 and 17-7440, amended August 14th, 1990, formerly 17-704-420, amended November 15th, 2009. And then we got one more left for the Certification Resource Recovery Equipment 62704, and this is 600 recycling equipment lists. Recycling equipment that appears in the list below is considered recycling equipment that should be certified by the Department of the Recycling Equipment that requires that the equipment eligibility pursuant to 62704-420 is satisfied. Preparation equipment, which is used for reducing the size of recycling materials for further processing, baling presses, and tying equipment, crushing flatteners, desintensifiers, cutting and shears, granulators, roll splitters, shredders, flail mills, hammer mills, separation equipment machine that is used for the removal of the contamination from the recycling materials, air classifiers, trommel screens, heavy media separators, magnet separators, glass beneficent equipment, the materials handling of the equipment excessively used to move the recyclable materials to and from the other recycling equipment with the recycling facility plant site, cranes equipped with electromagnetic grapples, conveyor belts, steers, loaders, front end loaders, materials handling equipment that is used excessively for the transport, and recyclable material from the point of the regeneration of the recycling facility. A truck relief of specially designed recycling bodies. Carts are specially designed to store recyclables prior to transfer the recyclable collection vehicle. Been specially designed to store recyclables prior to the transfer of recyclable collection vehicles. Rulemaking Authority 403704, Florida Law implemented 212. 087Q, 403-715, Florida State History News, August 14th, 1990, formerly 17-704-600, amended November 15th, 2009. And that completes the Certification of Resource Recovery Equipment.